Order up! What is up? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Order Up Podcast. Of course, I'm Terry Williams. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. So this episode, I want to talk about something a little bit different. If you know the podcast, you know I kind of go into like video games and food stuff and anime, and we sprinkle in some sports and wrestling here and there. But on this one, I want to talk about something a little bit different and something that has been brought up in conversations a lot more over the past few years. And we're going to be talking about mental health, and I think it's very important to talk about and discuss it because mental health is different for everybody. Like it's not a one size fits all type thing. Like everyone handles mental health differently. Everyone does different things to cope and relax and things like that. And it's okay if you're bothered by things. That's kind of first and foremost. It's okay to not be okay. And I think that's one of the biggest things we should tell people more often. That if you don't feel, you don't feel like yourself, you don't feel no, you don't feel normal. That's perfectly fine. Every day is different. Every day has its own challenges. So that's kind of one of the first things. And never feel, like you're less than someone else because you're not feeling good. And because a lot of things can affect you mentally, if going through a bad breakup, if you just lost a job, if you got passed over for a promotion, if you don't feel like you're getting the love and support at home, you don't feel like you're getting the love and support at your job, if you feel like, like you're trying to do something and you just can't quite get over the hump, you have ideas, you're telling people you're just not getting that support, like mental health can strain and it can be a wide range of things. And everyone handles things completely different. Some people, might take a couple of drinks. Some people might smoke. Some people might smoke cigars or they might smoke, cannabis and other things. Some people might use edibles to kind of get over there, to help them mentally heal. Sometimes talking to a therapist is important. Not just talking to your friends. Sometimes writing in a journal, writing in a log, doing a podcast. Sometimes just getting things off your chest in a creative platform. Cooking is very big for me. Cooking is not just something that I do because I want to make money from it, but it's a very big part of my mental psyche. And if I don't cook for long periods of time, I become like I just get like detached and I feel like depressed and it's like me like it's very it feels very symbiotic. It's very I'm gonna make a comic reference. It's very the symbiote with Venom. Like it's very like I need it. Cooking is this very I need thing. And if I don't cook for like long stretches of time, like I did in college for a while, I can become depressed. I don't have the same energy, and I feel like I just don't feel like myself. Overthinking can be a big factor when it comes to mental stress because overthinking you can just kind of spiral out of control and you end up thinking about things 10, 15 years down the line for no apparent reason and you kind of lose yourself within the moment instead of things could be going good right now but you're somewhere 10 years down the line and it's exhausting and it takes a lot out of you not accomplishing goals and dreams the way that you planned thinking you'll get to something in 5 years. Maybe it takes 8, maybe it takes 9, maybe it takes 10 years. And just not accomplishing these goals, even though there's potholes and things like that, it can take a lot to kind of overcome your mental. Because I think the thing about your mental health is you, like if you have a cold, you take medicine. If you have a scratch or you have like an open wound or things for it, for mental health, like if you're mentally like breaking and you're mentally struggling, there really aren't, things I guess you can prescribe stuff, but a lot of things is just hit and miss. You gotta find what works for you, and you have to figure out like what relaxes you and what puts you in a good place. And it's okay if you need to step back and you need to be isolated for a little while. Isolation can be really good. Sometimes not being around people can really help you focus and hone in on, kind of what you need to do to get better. Sometimes you take a break from social media. Maybe you cut off your phone for a couple hours a day, or you meditate. You light candles, you drink tea, you burn sage. You pray. You meditate, you read scriptures. You do like there's all these different types of things. Maybe you take a nice bubble bath. It's just a lot of different things and a lot of different ways to kind of promote mental health, to promote healthy mental health. Sometimes just listening to jazz, listening to white noise or smooth sounds of the ocean. You just have to figure out what works for you. And taking time away from mental health is important, and whatever that is for you. And that's just laying down, eating ice cream, and watching comedies for a couple hours, if that helps you get to this point, and it kind of helps relaxes you and makes the world not seem so big and you can kind of breathe, do it every now and then. I mean, you know what works for you. Do things that's beneficial to you. Don't do anything that will harm you. That's kind of the big thing. Like, don't overindulge in things because it can go from healing to overindulgence real quick. So you have to find that balance between what you enjoy and then help you and realize that, okay, maybe I'm going a little too far. Maybe this is overindulging, and you just have to find your balance. And you'll get there. It's not hard. It takes time though, and it's realize. I think the first step in really good mental health is saying I'm not okay. If you can say I'm not okay, you're in a pretty good spot, and that's usually when the door opens and you figure out ways to get better. Sometimes just getting out, getting some fresh air, just standing on the front porch for a few minutes, just breathing in fresh air can be a big help. I'm a big tea drinker. Like, I really enjoy tea, so sometimes at night I drink tea. It just kind of helps me. Tea, some stuff that makes me laugh. It just helps my mentality so much. And I mean, prayer, reading scripture for me is very big. It just kind of helps keep things in perspective and let me know I can go forward. And everything's different. You have to connect with yourself on a much deeper level because, like buying stuff won't make you happy. Getting likes on Facebook won't do it because all that stuff is very subjective and it's not grounded in anything. It's cool. It can be like you get that brief excitement from, but those things don't hold you. They're not solid. You gotta do things that are really grounded in something. Deep breaths can be perfect. Just taking a couple of deep breaths, drinking some tea, really watching things that make you laugh. Those things can kind of keep you together. Those things are like glue. They hold you together. And sometimes we get so caught up in material things, thinking if I do this for myself, I do that for myself. Sometimes those things don't hold up. And also trying to rely on people for your mental health can also be dangerous because people can fail you. People can disappoint you. So sometimes it's you. It's just, it's you versus yourself in a lot of cases. It's you versus the version of you in the mirror. And the best way to handle that is to kind of understand, hey, I'm struggling with this. Let me do some things that I enjoy. Maybe I can meditate. I can attack it, a different way. So just keep that in mind. Mental health is very important. Do what you need to do. Don't let anyone else tell you what you need to do because you have to handle it your way. Like if that's taking a drive in your car, listening to music with some, with the windows down, getting some fresh air, do it. And don't let other people tell you how you should handle your mental health because that's not how it works. Just how everybody agrees differently. Everybody's mental health is different. We all have to do different things to get to a better place because the whole goal is become a better version of you. So that's the goal in the long run. Is to heal, to overcome, to conquer, and be a better you. So yeah, this is a brand new episode of the Order Podcast. I hope you like this episode. This is something a little different because it's something that's on my mind. And I figured that it would be nice to talk about. Something I don't really talk about that often, but it's something that is extremely important. Something that's extremely important and that helps a lot of people. And a lot of people go through it, whether they talk about it or not. So hope you like this episode. Definitely check out the other episodes of the podcast. Go through the YouTube channel, Slicing Dicing Gaming Entertainment, of course. Of course, there's my Twitch channel, Slicing Dicing Gaming ENT. You can find all these things, plus merchandise, on the website, www.slicingdicinggaming.com. Remember, Slicing Dicing Gaming, it's not just a motto, it's a lifestyle. See you in the next podcast. Later.